Okay, but back to this game. So Evander, you've now met Vasily properly. Victor, you're coming up on him. You recognize who he is. Tasso, Ulrich, what are you wanting to do here?
Ulrich. So just so I am clear on what's happening to Irina, so does she have kind of a misty shield around her, and in addition, there's this misty area that she has now stepped away from?
Yes.
Oh,
And you can start to see the misty area beginning to dissipate. It's starting to fade slowly.
is this
But the shield around her is not.
anything that might be familiar to Ulrich and his lore and studying?
Roll Arcana for me.
Okay. Yay. Uh,
Okay. Even with that low roll, it does seem familiar in the sense of other spells that you know or have read about, but you've not read about them manifesting in such a way.
hmm. Then Ulrich will say, I think I've heard about spells like this before, but why do you have this?
She looks at you just as confused as you are, and she says, I don't know, Ulrich. I thought it was you. I thought it was you that gave this to me.
Do you think
And she pulls something out of her pocket, and it's being someone who's familiar with plants, you recognize it right away. It's the flower of the wolfsbane plant. And she's like, I found this under my pillow last night. I thought you put this here.
no, it wasn't me. I would have told you if I did.
She kind of looks back down at it and back at you. Then I'm at a loss.
Is that what Wolfsbane does in Barovia? Protects the person who's holding it?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Do you think
Can Emitter like walk up as they're having this conversation and kind of overhear them talking about whatever this mist was? Because he also wants to say, Irina, I saw something shield you when that vampire attacked you. Do you have any idea what could have done that? Do you have some magic knowledge you haven't told us about?
You can still kind of see the shield.
Okay.
Just every now and then it will give like this kind of mystical glimmer, like this weird shimmer. But she looks and she says, no, no one's ever taught me in those ways.
do you think that maybe this is Strahd's way of keeping you safe? Watching you from afar?
You can see her face kind of fall a bit with worry and concern, and she says, I certainly hope not. I don't want it if it is him, but why now? Why not before?
Have you been attacked by his creatures before?
Yes, that's how my father died. Our house was overrun, and Ulrich, you would recall the house, the Burgermeister Manor was completely boarded up when you guys visited. All the windows were boarded up. The doors were reinforced. And recall you saw claw marks at the doors and kind of the windows. The fence was kind of trodden over and broken. And she explains, yes, his creatures came for us at home and tried to get in night after night until my father's weak heart couldn't take it anymore.
But do you think they were coming in to take you away and kill everyone else? Would they have really hurt you if Strahd wanted you?
If he wanted me, then no, probably not.
Can Emitter like
Well,
reach out and see if this barrier will stop him from like just like touching her arm or something to see how it interacts with him.
Yeah, you can touch your arm.
What happens with the
Wow.
shield as my fingers pass through it?
It kind of just it's almost like this ghostly film over her. So it's all if you can picture how your hand would move through fog or
Okay.
mist, that's kind of how it is.
Okay.
Ulrich will reach out also. Does it feel like anything?
Nope.
Wow. Well, wherever it came from, I guess it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, anything that can protect you it's got to be helpful.
Both of you make an insight check for me.
Mm.
There's my normal rolls.
So Ulrich, you're able to just catch a small little expression on that kind of just flutters over Irina's face real quick. Almost like she wants to mention something, but she pulls back.
Irina, were you gonna say something?
Oh no. I think it's best if we move. We have the children and that man who's injured. And I'm getting really tired.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's go. Random thing. At some point while we were walking, I think Ulrich would have asked Evander to give back his thieves toolkit. Just
Oh,
FYI.
okay, sure.
I think you had it last session.
Probably, I probably did try to open something with it at some point. So yes, I will have given it back to you.
Okay.
I need to get one myself now, since I think you ended up stealing that from the other town or something, didn't you? Or was that something
He
else?
brought that himself this time
Okay.
around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He stole a healer's kit.
Healer's kit.
Oh, that's what it was. The healer's kits, right?
But we have Victor. So Evander, you would have moved over here. Victor and Tasso are over yonder. Tasso, what are you doing?
I would have made sure that Scruffles was doing all right. So that would have been where I
Okay.
went first. And
All right.
then I probably would have been over there at least by the children, trying to gather them together because I know that we need to get back on the road. So
Okay. Scruffle seems to be okay. Maybe a little shaken being this close to danger, but
yeah.
yeah, he's okay.
Victor's just talking to Vasily. He's really asking questions about the hunt. He says, "So what were you hunting? Were you hunting the dire wolf, or
No,
did you just show up?"
I mean it's probably stupid on my part to think I could hold my own out there, but I thought with the experienced hunters hunting wolves, it would be a lark. Well, joke's on me, I guess, right? And he kind of like motions to his shoulder that's pretty mangled and gross. Um,
Does
yeah,
does he seem
nuts.
like he's full of shit? Basically, excuse me. I don't know if I could. Does he
It's
seem like he's
fine.
lying?
What's your insight modifier?
+4.
Jeez, you and Ulrich, huh? Yeah. As far as you know, especially since you know him from town, he seems very genuine. Especially someone who's also out in the woods. You know, this is not a man of the woods, so it was pretty fucking dumb of him, even with experienced hunters, to kind of go out there.
Well, we better get back to town. Um, I want to look around as well. That dire wolf are they uncommon around here, or are they pretty common?
So wolves in general are very, very common. It's one of, especially here in Barovia, you see them everywhere. They're quite an extensive danger once you kind of go out of town. Dire wolves are most definitely seen, but maybe not this close to the road. But they're not unheard of either. So
Were the vampire spawn controlling the dire wolf? Did they come with it, or did they just happen upon you when you were?
Oh, you're asking in character?
Oh, yeah.
Um, he kind of like looks at you and he lets out a little shudder. Well, first it was just the dire wolf, and then from behind were the vampire spawn, and then I ran. I ran as fast as I could.
Uh,
I
it's-
you can see like this kind of far away look in his eyes, and he's like, "I left those men to die."
well, it's too late to worry about it now. Did are vampire spawn fairly common just out in the woods?
They
That's
can be,
okay.
and
So
I would say if you're wanting like a gauge, probably not as common as the dire wolves,
mm,
but they do tend to run in packs. So when you do find them, you may never be seen again. Like it's yeah, it's not good news.
I'll say, well, you're either very lucky or very unlucky to have a dire wolf and vampire spawn at the same time. But you're alive now, so let's get back to town. And then
Yes.
I'd help him get on the horse, and I'd go get my arrows, whatever arrows I can recover out of
Okay.
the.
How many in total did you shoot?
I shot 3.
Okay. Then roll a d4. Okay, you get 2 back.
Cool.
And as we're kind of getting ready to go, with Galen, I would, for Shogi, I want Galen to be kind of like checking out these vampire corpses, just to be kind of poking through them. And
Mhm.
Evander wants to walk up and like kind of rifle through their pockets and see. You find anything, Galen? Can you tell where these things came from? Are these like Strahd's minions or what?
Okay. Um, hold on, let me check one thing here. So as he's kind of rifling through, he goes one by one by one. For the most part, there's not too much. There's nothing really interesting on most of them.
Mm-hmm.
On one of them, he does find a locket, and when he opens it, it's a picture of there's like 2 small pictures in it. One of an older couple, and then another of a young man. The other one, we'll say you find like 2 gold on it.
Okay. I'll take 2 gold. I would actually like to hold on to this locket if at all possible,
Okay.
in case we ever find somebody who might know what this is.
And on the third, you don't really find anything of note.
Okay.
I guess we're all kind of walking up, kind of regrouping.
Mm-hmm.
So Ulrich watching this will say kind of to Evander and Galen, maybe we should burn these bodies. I don't know if they can come back, but why chance it?
We have time to waste.
Tasso's right. I don't know that we have time to burn corpses unless you can do it like that.
I mean, I have a torch. I could just light their clothes on fire.
Go for it.
Okay. Ulrich will try and light the 3 corpses on fire.
Okay, roll a d20 for me.
Oh my.
Before we have the result, Victor would see him. Would he'd be more familiar with what would happen, uh, good or bad, with burning bodies? Could I try to remember or have that knowledge? Got undead as my favorite enemy. So.
Okay, then in that case, you would know the first thing you probably want to do is most definitely chop off their heads, stake them for good measure, and then burn them.
I say, wait, don't get ahead of yourself.
The hardest thing that of those 3 is obviously going to be burning these bodies enough, because it takes a lot to incinerate a body.
I'd say don't get ahead of yourself, Ulrich. It's better to take the head off. And
Oh,
and if we could put wooden stakes in them, I think we could take the heads off, and that'd probably be good enough.
um, if you want, you can use some of my crossbow bolts for stakes.
Are they wooden?
I'm assuming so, right? They're just metal
Yeah.
tip but wooden shaft.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. Okay.
Sure.
I'll hand 3 bolts over to Victor.
Okay, I'll take the Yeah, so I'll stake them. I think we should move them like up here. So I'd move them off the road a little bit,
Okay.
and then kind of I'll go ahead and stake them. Then I say, I've got this short sword. Does anyone have an axe or anything to cut the heads off?
Galen steps up.
Good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, do that.
Chop!
I
Well,
have
Pie
the
Bo-
best.
Pie Boy asked if you
Bloody.
use revised Ranger. I don't know if that has to do with your chosen.
I told Chris about the revised ones, and you said you looked it over, right?
Yeah, so I picked and choosed a little bit. I did revised, or not revised Ranger, the one in Tasha's. So the switch for favorite enemy is like a hunter's mark that's free.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
decided I decided to just stick with but I did take primeval awareness and uh, the expanded spell list.
Okay. And
Oh,
as
and
you're,
Deft Explorer, and so
you guys just see Galen come in and whack, whack, until finally all of the zombie, or not zombie, but the vampire spawns have been decapitated. Zombies come later. Just kidding.
Right now.
okay, and then I'd say, well, we can burn them. Probably won't get out of hand into a fire. I wouldn't think, but
Oh, yeah, I don't want to cause a forest fire.
Well, it did just end raining, right? I don't think we really have to worry about a forest
Oh.
fire after how damp it's been.
Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah,
Can I
probably be
even?
tough. Yeah.
I don't know if these will burn. It's raining.
I mean, again, you can just start a fire, but you would need to sustain it. It needs to be large enough and hot enough for a good amount of time if you really want to fully
You know what?
incinerate the bodies.
It's really late and cold. You already chopped off their heads. Let's just go.
Yeah, that's right. Let's
Yeah,
get 'em out.
that's probably about all we can hope to do now. So
And also, um, Victor, if that's your favorite enemy, you've been here for a while, you would know that there's certain tiers of vampires. And these are maybe at the second level. Whereas, let's say Doru was first level vampire, which unfortunately, Chris, you weren't here for that, but the rest of the party would know. So that's the frame of reference for you guys. So these guys were just one step above what Doru started out as.
Okay.
okay, these are very dangerous, but it's harder. Maybe I'll take their heads and just throw them like over here,
Okay.
across the road.
Bury him real
You know,
fast or something.
yeah. Just
Okay.
toss
Wow.
them and then say, I think we should continue on.
All right. So you guys continue on. Some of the children are crying and in shock by the atrocities that they've now witnessed out here too.
Evander does want to go up to Freak and like kind of kneel and say, "Freak, you were very brave. I want you to take this knife," and he's going to remove one of his throwing knives, give him one of the real knives, and say, "Because of how brave you are, you're in charge of making sure that you and all your friends stay safe. Okay?"
He kind of looks at it for a moment and then immediately goes to grab it and says, "Okay, I think I can do that. I think I can do that."
You can. You're brave and you're strong.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Ask
assuming.
Irina if she thinks it's necessary for us to follow the same strategy as before. With me turning into a horse.
I think that might be easiest on the children.
So I look at everybody and say, you know the drill. Use my last wild shape.
Okay.
And by now, I guess everyone's been introduced to Vasily.
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 Yes.
Then Ulrich will kind of walk up and ask for his crossbow bolt back and say,
Says,
"Thanks."
yes, thank you, my friend. This was a great help. Thank you.
Thank you. Just take it.
Okay.
Those some good
Hands
shots.
it over.
Just kind of says over his shoulder.
It's not the best I've ever done, but it's mattered when it needed to, huh? Anything else you guys want to do before you depart?
Nope.
Okay. So you need to travel for, I say, a few more hours before you finally get into view of Vallaki. So if there's any other conversations you wanted to have during this time, this is it. Otherwise, I'm moving you guys forward as soon as I find the page.
If only Galen were here to ask him, which of the vampires he wanted to hit on if he had been available.
Did you show the pictures to the stream of Galen and his dolls? Well, his
Oh,
doll Tina.
That's on Discord. I didn't. I'll see if I
Yeah.
can pull it up and bring it up.
That's funny. But so finally, as you guys are making your way through the forest down this road, you finally see the town of Vallaki in the distance. The sun is just close to setting, hasn't quite started yet. But you can see that this is a rather large town compared to the village of Barovia. This is like a metropolis. It's pretty large, obviously well fortified. You can see the wall that kind of encompasses the entire city. And as you guys make your way there, Vasily lets out like the sigh of relief and says, "Oh, finally, I'm never leaving town again." Irina turns to you, Ulrich, because I assume you're probably the closest one to her, and she says, "Finally, maybe we can rest and find safety."
That would be good.
She gives you a small smile, but it doesn't seem to reach her eyes. There's still a little bit of worry behind that smile.
Ulrich will just quickly ask, "Is everything okay?"
She just shrugs and says, "Yes, I suppose."
I guess as much as it can be.
Yeah, she turns her head back down the road and begins walking a little bit quicker. She holds her hand out to one of the smaller children and says, "Come, come, my dear, let's go. Let's go find you a hot meal, huh?" Victor, this is a sight you've seen countless times. And you kind of know what the party's in store for. So you know Vallaki is a very, what's the word I want to say? A very, it's a town that takes the law very seriously. And as you guys approach the gates, you see, even though it's not even nightfall, the gate is closed. There are two guards in front of the gate, and you can just spy through the little barred windows that there are other guards behind the gate as well. So it's a very well defended and fortified town here in Barovia. And the two guards outside the gates, they hold out their hand and says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. You got your papers? If not, I don't know why they're suddenly like from Brooklyn, but that's what I'm gonna go with.
Hey, yo.
You got your papers? If not, what's your purpose here?
I'm here to speak with Erwin Mardikov. Would I have papers?
You would absolutely have
Yeah,
papers,
I'll show.
and
I'll show the paper. They're with me. We have a meeting with Mardikovs.
okay, that's all well and good, but you know they're gonna have to fill out papers too. So, first of all, we're gonna need you to lash your weapons and fill out this paperwork. So one of the other one knocks on the door, and one of the gate doors open to allow you guys to come in. And this initial area, it's still kind of there's even another gate beyond it, so you're not fully into the city yet. You're kind of in this gated area. To both sides are tables. There are 2 people behind each table with paperwork, wax seals, and things of that nature. It almost seems like a place of business. They kind of usher you forward. Here. Now you can go over there. Then you can wait there. Kind of like picture a DMV. That's yeah. That's how it should feel.
I knew Barovia was scary, but
That's terrifying now.
Let me find the paperwork for you. And
Oh no.
I initially gave this paperwork to Zach because Connor, being well learned, I figured he would really enjoy the legality of all of this. Unfortunately, you guys lost your boy. But they hand you each like a very thin stack of papers, like 3 papers in each. I swear to God, if I can't find it, I'm gonna flip out. But it basically lists the laws here in Barovia. Oh, it was in player handouts. I don't know where all of my stuff I created. I put it in Roll20, and I swear it gets eaten up. Here we are. So this is the first one. I'm just going to put it in your journals because that seems to be the easiest way. And Victor, you already have this in yours.
What is this under so I can pull it up on stream?
It's going to be in your journal. Again, there's 3 pages. So I added the first page.
Under handouts, is that where it's going?
So I think it's for you, the 3rd icon. If you hover over it, it kind of looks like a newspaper.
The Vallaki laws, is it those 2?
Yeah,
okay,
that's
gotcha.
the one. About to be 3.
Okay.
So again, it's a long list of things that you should and should not do here in Vallaki. And the guy behind the desks explains to you that this is also weapons are not really allowed here in Vallaki unless you have been approved to carry. So either leave your weapons or lash them. Like you have to basically make it to where you can't pull out your rapier, or you can't use any of your arrows, things like that. If you are caught with a weapon and you're not supposed to, bad things will happen. You are all, while you are within Vallaki, you are required to attend any festival that is happening when they happen frequently. So if you are not present when you should be, bad things will happen. So again, it's 3 pages worth of all the things. And another thing that would stick out to you that you guys should know is no one says the name Strahd von Zarevich. His name is never spoken in this town. Instead, if you need to speak of him, he's referred to as the devil.
Ah, the devil, okay.
is anybody actually saying this out loud to us, or is it just all in the paperwork?
It's in the paperwork. They're kind of like pointing out in very monotone voices because this is all they ever do. They do this every day, in and out. So they're just going through the motions of letting you know what's appropriate. They are pointing out the really, really big things that I just kind of told you.
Right, but are they physically like? Are they
Yeah, they have the
speaking it
papers.
out?
Yeah, they have the papers in front of you. They're kind of showing it, but they are speaking the things that I just told you.
Okay,
So
because let's just
Tasso
say a
would
character
know.
doesn't know how to read. He's at
Yeah,
least getting. Uh,
Tasso would know everything that I just told you. The
okay,
highlights, you got to go to the festivals. You can't have weapons on you, or if they are, they need to be p-slashed or whatever the phrase is. I forget. But
do they
and
consider my walking stick quarterstaff a weapon?
possibly,
How would you
um,
lash a
yeah.
walking stick?
In that case, they would probably have you keep it unless you can convince them not to.
So if I needed to walk,
Or you can roll a deception check for me.
yeah,
Oh.
happy to do so.
Evander's digging these rules, by the way. You have to go to the festivals. He's like, yes, everybody's gonna see me play.
Okay. Unfortunately, he rolled a 10. He's kind of looking at you. You're a rather large, seemingly able-bodied man. He's going to be like, no, I think you're going to have to check the weapon with us until you depart Vallaki.
What stops me from ripping a door off its hinges and using that as a weapon?
I suppose you could if you really want to, but you're
Then
not
leave me
taking
with
that
my
staff.
staff.
No.
I leave.
Okay. Tasso leaves Vallaki.
Wait,
Wait,
where are you going?
oh, wait, what?
Evander wants to try to convince Tasso that, hey, it's okay. We're together. If we stay together, it's way better than just not having your walking stick for a day.
This is a part of who I am.
But is it magic?
Do you give up your instruments?
Well, I mean, they're not weapons, so he kind of scratches his head because he's kind of convinced by him saying that because he wouldn't want to leave behind his loot or his
Yeah. No one's going to consider a loot a weapon.
I mean, maybe it'll be someplace safe and you can come check on it whenever you want.
Yeah, Tasso, we shouldn't split up, man. I'm trying to convince him.
I don't want to just leave it to a persuasion roll. I kind of want you guys to role play it out and leave Tasso the final one to decide whether or not he's been persuaded.
Oric will turn to one of the guards and say, excuse me, so if my friend leaves his walking stick, where will it be that he can feel safe that it's okay?
It would be right there. And along the other side of the kind of like the back end where you guys came through, there are a bunch of cages, for lack of a better word, where they have a bunch of different weapons kind of locked up.
Oh.
And there's tags on each of the weapons.
It's like a high security coat check.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh. Well, Tasso, see, there's all these other weapons here and they have tags on them and they're keeping track of them. I'll keep my crossbow here.
He just sighs heavily. We rarely leave any location with enough time to gather things.
We'll make sure that we do. If we can help it.
And Irina will come out and says, this has been standard procedure for Vallaki for a few years now. The last time I was here, I had to do the same. But I was able to get my weapon back, and so did Ismark.
See?
When we Tasso, when we get into the city, we'll talk to my people. Maybe we can figure something out then.
I mean, yeah, and I can talk to people. And she looks to Vasily. Is there something you can't do? I mean, it is just a staff. It's not like it's a sword or anything, or Galen's battle axe. Um, and Vasily just kind of looks at you all. Like, he's already checked his weapons. Like, he doesn't have any, but because he lost them all. But he's not flustered by any of this. This is just kind of standard procedure. He shows his paper. The guard kind of gives him a little bow. But he kind of looks at Utah, so he can kind of feel the tension in the air. And he turns to the highest ranking guard here and says, "Look, it's just a staff. I would not be alive if it weren't for that man right there. You have my word that he will be an upstanding citizen of Vallaki while he is here. Let him keep his stuff." Give me everyone can give me a perception check.
Okay. Oops. Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
Oh, Evander.
Yeah. So Evander, maybe because you're a very flashy man yourself. You're a showman of many different types. So misdirection is something you're kind of used to. But you catch the quick little hand movement of him palming a coin and putting it into the guard's hands. The guard looks back at you, Tasso, back at Vasily. You can see him kind of squeeze his hand a bit and says, "All right, Vasily, but it's gonna be on your head if anyone in this group gets out of hand, huh?"
Evander will totally give Vasily a wink and a nod for noticing that little exchange.
You kind of you see a little bit of like, "Oh shit." Dang. But he kind of shakes it off like, "Oh, okay," and gives you a little head nod of acknowledgement there. The guard turns to you, Tasso, says, "All right, you can keep your staff, but all of the other weapons will have to be checked."
Evander immediately starts pulling out his knives, pulling out his rapier, everything, because he wants to get into this town.
Okay.
I nod, and I drop my sling and my bullets on the table, and then I use my primal savagery as he looks up at me to just flash my fangs and my, like the teeth extending and the nails on my hand extending as I slide the bullets and the sling over to him, and I just
Okay.
kind of give a little.
Yeah, he's kind of like just looking down at the moment, and then he sees your claws, and he looks up, and he shifts just enough, real quickly, to fall flat on his ass out of his
Yeah.
chair, and
Not all weapons can be taken, and I walk out.
okay. He kind of shakes his head, kind of looks around. Everyone looks at Vasily, and he's like, "It's fine. He's a little bit dramatic, you know."
And Evander says, "I'll fill out his paperwork. Don't worry about it. I know all his info."
Yeah. So, yeah, there is a lot of paperwork to be filled out. You guys do need to technically, quote unquote, register. While you are here, you need to basically review the inventory that they're holding for you and sign for that. Make sure it's all correct. Yada yada yada. All that bureaucracy that comes with a larger town.
Or can you ask the guards? I also have just a knife. Do I have to check that too?
All weapons must be checked.
Okay.
He takes the knife from you, hands it to the guy behind the desk. Be sure to add this to his list, huh? Anything else? Anyone else hiding?
Nope, nothing hidden. Hand it all over.
All right. So it takes maybe another 20 minutes before everything for all of you, it's finally done. but then they unlock the gate that leads into the city itself and says, "Enjoy Vallaki. All will be well." And they kind of shuffle you out into the actual town.
Ooh, I
Devender
feel
will
like we
like
just.
bow, all will be well, and try to like blend in with the locals.
So I guess walking into Disneyland, we had to like get our stamps, check our stuff. Oh boy, now what?
So now you are in the town of Vallaki.
All right.
Oh, did we lose Victor again?
Yeah,
I
I
see him.
clicked off the roll 20s all, but I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm back now.
Wow, this little animated thing is great.
Yeah. Looking around, how does it compare to Neverwinter?
It's still much smaller than Neverwinter by far. But it is still reasonably well made. Like, it's a nice cobblestone street. The buildings are well taken care of, especially compared to the village of Barovia. There's not as many things or buildings that are run down and kind of um, abandoned. You see a fair number of people going to and fro, all about their business. What you do also see, almost like every three, well, maybe not three, but like every 6 to 7 feet, you find posters kind of tacked up, nailed to posts or glued onto walls and things like that. Which one do I want to give you guys? They're obviously, let me find it. Let me just make a new one because I don't feel like searching. And I want to pick which one because you guys might be here long enough to enjoy 2 festivals.
Ooh, Evander can't
Yeah.
wait.
Ugh.
So they're obviously ads of some sort. And Victor would very much be aware of what these are. But while I do that, Victor, is there anything you want to do or start out doing while you're here in Vallaki?
No, I think that I'll try to lead the group straight to the inn. But after I get there, I'll probably, once we conclude business, I'll probably go visit my family.
Evander wants to
Okay.
make note of every inn or tavern they go by, just to like kind of
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I'm gonna play there. I'm gonna play there." Oh, there's so many
Okay.
like,
There's
venues.
Yeah, there's a few here and there. There's a few smatterings. They're rather small. The largest one is the Blue Water Inn. And of course, festival flyer is what I will call it. As you're kind of taking stock of this is the, hopefully you guys see this one. If not, I'll have to add
Yeah.
it to your journal. Okay.
Yeah.
Why did this one work but the other one didn't? So this is the one that you guys are seeing advertised everywhere in Vallaki. No matter where you turn, no matter what shop you look at, no matter even like it's even on the doors of some people's homes. You see this. And again, if you recall, you've been told it's like attendance is mandatory. You can't skip out on the festival.
And pikes will be provided. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, Ulrich will turn to Irina and say, Irina, do you know this festival?
They didn't have. Not this particular festival. Maybe they've added new ones since the last time I've been here. It's been at least 5 years since I've been to Vallaki.
I just wonder why. Yeah, that there's pikes.
Yeah, I wonder what the pikes are for. Evander says, kind of innocently, like, like he thinks it's probably fun or something.
Yeah. I'm just like I don't know, but it does seem It seems odd.
All will be
Pikes.
well. That seems kind
And
of a weird thing to say on a festival poster.
that's basically what the Burgermeister always says. That's
Oh,
all will be well here in Vallaki. He likes to think that Vallaki is something special. She kind of rolls her eyes.
We have a lot of festivals here. It's part of the city culture.
oh, that's neat. But why the pikes for this one?
Well, you can't have the same festival all the time. You have to have, pikes for this one. And
Yeah, it's definitely something new to Victor as well. You're not sure what this festival will entail because they all are a little bit different. It's not like every year they do the same thing.
yeah, you just have to kind of go with the flow.
Oh,
I'm not exactly sure what this one is, but we should have a good time.
oh, are we gonna be here for this one? When is it?
When
Oh,
is I don't know.
yeah, I'm sorry. I
Oh,
am just flabbergasted with Roll20 right now. It's doing its thing where it's not giving me all of my stuff, so I may have to log out and log back in.
Wing and a prayer. It'll be, tomorrow at 7 p.m.,
Yeah, so it's like I have things grouped in a certain way, and when I open it, nothing shows up.
Oh, lame.
But that's okay. I can log out real quick. Won't affect anything. You guys know that well, Victor, you know that the festivals take place every Sunday. Well, for Vallaki Sunday. So it's going to be in at least like 4 more days.
it'll be on Sunday. We do festivals every Sunday. It's like I said, part of the culture around here. It makes us unique.
Are
That
there
sounds nice.
performers and musicians at these festivals?
Of course, it's a great way to get a little money as well. People toss you coin.
Evander just says, "I love this town," as he looks around.
Yeah, I think that you could you really do well here, but you have to remember your real purpose.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
He rubs his
That's why
hands.
we're walking toward this inn, which I don't know how far it is from the gate.
I will share a map with you, maybe.
Oh,
but
okay.
it's not terribly far. You'll be able to get there. And let me just move you guys to that image.
Hmm.
Of the Blue Water Inn. So it's a modest establishment. There's nothing really fancy about this place, but it is very practical and it is very well built and it is very clean. And the moment you kind of walk in, you do almost get a different sense of energy than what you felt in any other place here in Barovia. It's a place of warmth. While it is pretty modest, it is still very, very comfortable. There's the scent of delicious food coming from the back of the inn that's being cooked. You see a lot of local people in the inn itself, just kind of talking and laughing, catching up with one another. It's a very different vibe to Barovia itself, but it is almost very reminiscent of any other tavern or inn you visited previously to Barovia.
Do we hear any music coming from inside?
Not at this point, but
Okay.
as you kind of make your way into the inn, you do see a man. Kind of, he's a bit older, maybe in his like mid-50s. He's a human man. He does have a couple instruments, like one on the countertop and one kind of leaning against his chair. So you would assume he's maybe the resident bard,
Gotcha.
or at least maybe a traveling bard.
I would immediately, if nobody pulls me away, want to go over and start talking to him to see what songs and stories he knows, to see if I can collaborate with this guy.
Okay, let me. You can definitely make your way over there. What's everyone else doing at this time?
Ulrich is just taking in the beautiful sight of civilization and the warmth and the smell of the food and all the people and city walls, and feels much more comfortable and visibly at ease because he's more in his element now.
Okay.
Also feels the exact opposite of that. Now that he's inside of a city with too many people and too many things, and it's not his forest and his woods, that he's a little on edge and sticking close to Victor because Victor seems to know where he's going. So
Yeah, Victor, when he walks in, he's gonna look for Erwin Mardikov to see if he's there. He's pretty much wants to get straight to business.
Okay. You don't see him out and about right now, but you know he's probably in the back somewhere. And it would probably just be a matter of time before he comes out here, or you can try to go and find him. It's up to you.
Let's just sit down and wait on Mr. Mardikov. He should be out any time. And I'll just get us a seat, you know.
Can we eat while we're waiting?
Of course.
All right. Where's the menu?
The Pie Boy says I should have
I-
a loot duel with this other bard. We're gonna have dueling banjos.
Naps.
dueling loots.
Yeah, Victor will actually just kind of get up and go grab bartender or whoever and ask him to get some food. I don't know if they have anything particular on hand, but he'll say, hey, I brought these. And I'm guessing I know the bartender, so.
You pretty much know everyone here. You know the Mardikovs run this place. And as you're kind of making your way up to the bar, you can see one of the little Mardikov boys, Bray, running through he bursts out of the kitchen and he begins running out into the actual main room here itself. And his brother Brahm is not far behind. And you hear Brahm, give that back to me right now.
And do I know him well enough that I could yeah, I'd be like, hey, Bray, Brahm, stop it. You're causing a scene.
So you're not quick enough to stop Bray because he was the first one out and kind of caught you by surprise, but you're able to kind of corral Brahm. And he's like, but he stole my toy figurine and I want it back.
You'll get it back. Look, is Erwin here? Is that their father?
Erwin? Yes, Erwin is their father.
Okay. Is your dad here? Go get him, and I'll see if I can get your figurine back while you're there.
He kind of looks back over to Bray and says, all right.
Okay.
And then he heads out.
Okay, when I send them back, I'll go up to the bar and say, hey, we need some food for the group I brought in. And then I'll go to say, Bray, you better give that figurine back. You know how your father gets when you mess around and cause a ruckus in the bar. And then I'll sit back down with the group.
Okay. All right. Gosh, I really need to organize things better. I have a certain face I'm looking for this this bard that apparently Evander is going to have a battle with. And
well,
I can't...
even if it's not a battle, we could play a duet. Evander's all about putting the band together, you know.
Putting the band together. Okay. I love it.
Like my idea is that Evander knows a bunch of the same songs, but they have different names. So they're like, you know, trying to figure out, okay, do you know this one? It goes like this. And like, oh, okay, yeah, but it's called, you know, the farmer on the Nell instead of the farmer over the hill,
okay.
you know? So they're like figuring out different songs so they can play them together and harmonize and stuff.
I just want to find a You know, we'll at least use this one. Because everything else is a halfling or an elf or, whatever. And let
There's
me
no
double
dwarven
check.
bards, you know?
Well, I have an awesome mini for a dwarven bard.
Oh, do you?
Actually, yeah, he's pretty amazing. But I'm gonna move you guys to a different map. You should be able to pull out your own tokens. If you can't, let me know, and I will fix that. But this way, you can kind of get the feel for the bar itself. Man, those gnomes look weird. Anyways, we'll change it later. It's not super important.
These animated pictures is
This
crazy.
is-
You can see shadows of people walking by the doors and
Yeah.
windows.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's that gosh, what is it? James RPG art. Like it's probably like just sign up for his Patreon. It's amazing.
Awesome.
So that's all of the stuff that he's created. He does other stuff like for Rime of the Frost Maiden and some of his own original stuff. It's all good, high quality shit, and I love it. So don't delve too far out of this map. I'm not going to do dynamic lighting because that's just a lot of work. There's a lot of commoners here.
All I see is blackness, currently.
Yeah, same.
Where are you guys? There you are. It is off. Is that
Oh,
better?
There we go.
Yeah, we go, yeah.
Okay.
Here
So
we go.
this is the general map of the inn here. We'll sleep at that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know how to make
Pull
myself
up.
smaller, though.
I can make you smaller.
Okay, cool.
Can everyone else pull out their tokens?
yes, but I cannot shrink myself.
Where are you? Oh, there you. Oh, I see you. I had to scroll out.
It's not letting me. It's just highlighting everything, and I don't know if that's
Alright.
because we've set up those wild shapes in the past.
I don't know. No worries though.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to do that.
Yeah, y'all have special tokens, so that could very well be why. Oh wait, Conrad's not here. Galen technically is. Oh, Victor.
Oh, no.
Why does it do this for you every flippin' time? Which, like, ruins the mystique. God, it pisses me off. Okay, is that everyone? No, Irina. And technically, you guys still have the kids in tow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh shoot, that's right.
Mhm.
How do I remove it then? Because you added the
Remove what?
the
There's an
token
extra
that I
one on
added
the
over
right
here.
side.
Yeah.
Victor.
Oh. Oh, you're way over there. I see you.
Yeah. I pulled it out. And, okay. All right, I'm good. I can move.
Okay. So I'm going to say this blue ring token, that's going to be the bard. It doesn't
Okay.
accurately represent him. I couldn't find the one, but that's him.
All right.
Imagine him much older.
Gotcha. I'll be talking the trade with this guy.
Okay. He's just sitting there, eating his stew. Now, let me get rid of. I'm sorry. What was there something specific you wanted to say, Evander?
Oh, no. I'm just, like I said, it's what I was saying earlier. I'm trying to figure out what songs he knows, see if there's songs we can play together. Just basic
Okay.
bard to bard stuff.
He's kind of like just sitting there eating, and you get the sense, you just get a general sense of unhappiness.
Really?
And yeah, and he's kind of like just after a little while of this like shop talk, he's just like, it's unfortunate that you ended up here in Vallaki. And you can tell by his accent, he's not from Barovia.
Evander is like taken aback a bit. He's like, this place seems like a heaven for Bard. I mean, you have a festival every week, you get paid.
He just kind of rolls his eyes and says, do not mention those fucking festivals.
Whoa. Evander's not good with people who are that like negative to him. He's just like, okay.
All right,
You
just
want me
kind
to
of
do
backs
a
away.
Yeah, do you want me to like play a set? Are you cool if I play a little music? You know, like to try to lighten the mood or something.
By all means. Because if I have to do it one more time, I'm gonna just go out and let the wolves take me.
Okay.
At this time, Victor, I'm gonna pull you guys all in a little bit further.
That was not what Evander was expecting from the local.
Victor, you would see Erwin come out from the back kitchen area, and he spies you, and immediately comes up and just kind of embraces you. You know, he puts his hand like right at the nape of your neck here, pulls you in for a tight hug, claps you on the back, and says, Victor,
Yes, sir.
I'm so glad to see you. Tell me, are you safe?
Yes, this group has really proved to be quite capable. They kept me safe. There's a little bit of rockiness that we can talk about later, but I'm safe.
He takes a moment to look over each member of the party here.
I would introduce them. I'd say this one is Tasso, and then this one is Ulrich. That's Galen. This is Irina. She's from where's she from?
Oh, Lady
She's-
Irina.
Yeah.
He
And
kind of
that one
takes he takes Irina's hand real quick and kind of gives her a soft bow.
And the colorful one over there is named Evander. Evander.
Evander, sir, and he like does a bow and there's a fine establishment you have here.
Thank you. We do try to make it feel like home for all who pass over the threshold. He turns his attention back to you, Victor, and says, Come see what I'm cooking. He puts his arm around your shoulder and leads you back into the kitchen.
Okay.
There is something specific I want to do for you, Evander, since you are in this bard like mood and you're in a tavern.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, because
Sure.
it is something very specific, I want to cut over to Victor and Erwin. And you see Erwin kind of, my God, okay. I didn't double check this map before I brought you guys into it, so I'm like, is that on the token layer or the GM layer? Oh gosh. But anyway, so he double checks the door that you guys kind of walked in on, and kind of pulls you close and says, "So, did you find out any useful information about anything?"
I'll pull out the deed and the wine bottle, and I'll say, well, there's some really the mill out there, some really bizarre things going on. I'll hand him I'll turn over the deed and show him the back and show him Piccolo Blidsky, owner of the mill.
You see him kind of like move back a little bit. That's a name I haven't heard for a good many decades now. I thought he was dead. Poor boy.
Well, I don't know if he's the same as you remember him. He's some sort of doll creature now, and he's doing something very strange with bodies and heads in jars there. And I brought this from there, and I'll plop the wine bottle down on the table. It's full of some green goop.
Real smash. It's not too bad, but takes even with the cork on, a little. Oh, what, by the gods, what is in here?
I don't know. I thought maybe somebody could figure it out. And then there's this, and he'll pull out the needle and lay it on. Be careful. Doll stuck me with that, and I ended up being in her doll body for a while until I was able to stick myself again. I'll just lay
He
it
kind
out.
of looks surprised and looks back up at you. So you've been through a lot. I'm glad you made it back safe.
I kept the secret so far as well, so.
And regarding Piccolo, you know his brother probably. Remember Blinsky Toys?
Yeah.
You Victor, absolutely, especially having young children, you would have shopped at Blinsky's toy shop. It's the only one here in Vallaki.
Well, that's why I was wondering. His brother owns a toy shop, and he's a doll creature. It's a little bit strange.
Brother technically died 20 years ago. I don't know. I don't know why he would. And he kind of double checks the date on that deed, which was about 10 years ago. Morgantha, Bone Grinder, relinquished control over the mill to this Blinsky Piccolo guy. This is very strange.
If you think this is strange, you should see the inside of that mill.
And the children that you
They
came with, who are they?
They were captive in the mill. Freak and his sister are out there. I didn't know if you saw them, but they were doing something weird with them in there. Freak seemed to say he was sold by his mother, potentially.
And his eyes go like steely hard after hearing that. Well, we will have to deal with this.
About the group, they're pretty strong, and I think they're trustworthy, and we might have a chance with them.
This is good. This is good news. I mean, not all good news, but I mean, I've seen adventuring parties come and go. I mean, hell, look at that old bard there. But I guess I'm a sucker. Maybe this will be the group that Barovia needs. With our help, maybe we can make some long-lasting change, huh?
Yeah.
But for now that you're home safe, if you need to leave, we can send word to your family that you're here. But you need to relax and rest.
I want to stay with this group, though. If I can help, I'm tired of living in fear for my family. If I can
He
help
kind of
them,
reaches out, clasps you on your shoulder, and nods.
great.
Well, then
We
we
should
are in accord. So let's make it happen.
great.
He gives you a little squeeze and gently directs you to leave the kitchen.
I leave the kitchen and join the rest of the group.
All right, and everyone else already has their food. and you know Galen has some drink.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are kind of just enjoying this brief moment of warmth and respite.
It's so good.
It is actually quite good.
No
it
pie,
is-
though? I'm guessing there's no pie.
There's no pie. No, there is some cake, but there's no pie.
Okay.
Orc's looking out for pie. Like, no pie, no pie.
Okay, so for Evander,
Mm-hmm.
you're wanting to put on a show. Is that right?
Well, this is our first night. It doesn't have to be quite as fabulous as the first show, but he wants to
Okay.
get the feel of the room and do kind of almost like a teaser show of what he could do with a couple of, with a night of preparation, kind of read the audience so he knows what
So
they like.
this is just kind of getting them interested to
That's
see
right.
what else. Okay.
Whet their appetite.
Okay, even better. All right, I like that idea. So explain to us what Evander will be doing, how he
Okay.
will be doing it.
With the bard kind of like giving him a little bit of a I don't want to play kind of vibe, he wants to actually start a little bit slow, almost like with a kind of a shorter tale that he tells while juggling. And it's going to be kind of, because of their adventure they just had, a short heroic tale of a small group fighting a nameless terror. He knows that Strahd is kind of in the back of everybody's mind, so it's like almost like heroic tale of a group fighting off some evil overlord, and he's going to do it while juggling and making flourishing motions as he does this tale to start the night.
Okay, I'm gonna need a performance check for sure.
Okay. All right, here we go. Please don't do like my wisdom checks.
Too
Okay.
bad. You don't know the layout of this tavern as well as some other places. Your first time here,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit preoccupied, so you haven't quite mapped everything out. So you're bumping into some tables and
Mhm.
chairs and some patrons, but you don't drop any of. I guess you're juggling.
I'm juggling
You're
my
juggling your
knives.
knives.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
Well,
Jesus.
the knives that were taken from you.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Oh.
Okay, the silverware. I pulled some silverware off of the table and was juggling it.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't drop any of the silverware.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not a bad performance overall.
All right. As I read the crowd, and they seem to be, kind of lukewarm. I then pull out my lute and start to sing I will say a fairly innocent love ballad to see if the romance between
Okay.
two lost loves. It's not an epic love story, but it's a feel good love story.
All
and
right.
see how they respond to that.
And at this, you hear one of the patrons kind of heckle you and say, "Oh, looks like we got a fucking pansy here, huh?" And your eye is caught or drawn to this one in the back corner here, and he kind of after he makes his quote unquote joke, he laughs and he shoves the nearest guy close to him. The other guy that's sitting at his table also laughs along with him and says, "Oh, good one, Nikolai." Much losers, but but yeah, I would
All
need
right.
a performance.
Evander will kind
check
of
for that with
ignore
you.
that and not respond to it yet. And here's my performance check. And
Yeah,
oof.
they definitely threw you off. You're trying to ignore it, but you're a little shaken. Like it's been a while since you've been heckled by a crowd.
Okay.
And
All
Galen
right.
kind of just stands up at the table and says, "Now I know I could do better, but you can't. You cannot talk to my friend that way."
All right. Well, after the failure of the adventure story and the love story, Evander's going to try to turn on the stand-up comic act and see if telling with this stiff-necked crowd, if I can tell some ridiculous story of kind of a hunting party that goes out in the woods, and instead of getting mauled, they ended up, tripping in over a river and have bats pooping on their heads. Just ridiculous, goofy story to see if the comedy will get into these people's heads.
Okay, go ahead.
And here we go.
If there's one thing the people in Barovia need, is a reason to laugh.
All right.
So that goes over very well. The heckler says, "It wasn't too bad for a mansy-pansy little elf like you."
Evander finally responds to say, "Can a mansy-pansy elf do this?" And does like this backflip twirl double gainer thing to try to show off his acrobatic skill.
Okay, roll that acrobatics for me.
In this crowded bar.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Off the table.
Oh.
Okay. Not too bad. Maybe you don't stick the landing as well as you would have liked, but I think it's enough that you're at least able to do what you intended without harming yourself or anyone else.
Or anyone else in the bar. Okay.
Yeah, it just isn't as graceful and cool looking as you probably wanted it to be.
Okay. Evander, after this performance, will say, "You've been a lovely audience, and I look forward to performing for you wonderful people again," as he takes his seat.
Okay. And as you take your seat, the woman that's been behind the bar, mostly taking orders and filling drinks, comes back around to you. She puts her hand on your shoulder and says, "That was absolutely lovely, dear. You really are talented."
Why, thank you, my lady.
I am Danica Martikov. I am one of the proprietors of this inn. And you are a friend of Victor. And she looks over to you, Victor, which you would know this is Erwin's wife. And therefore you are a friend of mine. Please, enjoy. And she calls over one of the barmaids, and she puts forth in front of you this beautiful, beautiful dessert. While it's not a pie, it is very pie-like. It's basically like an apple tart.
Okay. Evander stands and gives her a flourishing bow. Say, "You honor me, Danica, with your lovely establishment and your wonderful praise. I look forward to staying here and entertaining your guests."
That would be absolutely wonderful. Evander? Yeah?
Yes, my lady.
Okay. Well, for now, be at ease. This is a place of safety. Rest and relax.
Does Evander come back to the table with the tart?
Yes, I would join you all to partake.
Ulrich's eyeing it and then looks at Victor. Who, you're back at the table, Victor?
Yes.
He says,
These tarts aren't anything like Granny's pies, are they?
No, it's all regular fruit.
I mean, Evander's
Okay.
digging in. He's digging.
He
into
didn't
this.
even wait,
Before
did
he-
he?
No,
What
he
a
just
question
went
was
right
it?
into it.
Fucking Evander, man.
Tumbling and telling stories is hungry work,
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work. All right. How's Tasso feeling? While, yes, it's a very crowded place, it does still have a very inviting, comfortable energy. But
Mhm.
how's Tasso feeling?
It's nice to be out of the weather and out of the danger of the woods with all the things that we've encountered. Still uncomfortable. It's not the ideal place that he would choose to be in, but the warm fire and the good food is well received.
Okay. Everyone make a perception check for me.
oh, and DM just double checking. So if we go down to 0, we automatically get exhaustion, right?
Yeah, that is technically true.
Okay, so I should have been rolling with disadvantage. So I roll perception with
Are you
disadvantage.
at 2 disadvantage? Oh, I think that's just for ability checks, isn't it? Whatever.
Yeah, it's
We're not
exhaustion.
gonna
Just
go
for...
back and redo it. It's fine.
Oh well, either way, it doesn't matter.
Oh, not this time anyway.
This food's delicious. He's all like energized and excited to be in this warm, bright room.
Yeah.
The most alert we've ever seen you.
What's that?
It's the most alert we've ever seen you.
He's pretty. He's sketchy, but now he's like happy alert, like looking at everything. Like,
Okay. So Ulrich, as you're kind of like looking around with gusto, this is actually something, Victor, you would already know about. You spy above basically all of the window frames, the door frames. You spy like an engraving. It's kind of carved into the actual wood itself, and it catches your eye, and you take a moment to read it. And it says, how do I want to phrase this? It basically says, let the invited enter.
okay, there'll be eating and looking and.
But you see it over every external, every window or door that leads to the outside. Let the invited enter.
Kind of turn towards Irina and say,
Irina, what are these engravings above all the doors and windows?
With a mouthful of apple tart, she takes a moment to look and says, "No, I don't know, Ulrich. That's And then it hits her, and she's like, "It's maybe not a bad idea.
I mean,
Is that a reminder? The vampire spawn like that we fought wouldn't be able to enter unless invited.
oh, really?
That's why eventually Strahd sent wolves to my my home, because the vampires that were attacking it, they couldn't get in, but that gave us enough time to board things up. But she kind of trails off, and she kind of looks away for a moment and says, "But that wasn't enough, I suppose, to save my father."
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but does this mean that even Strahd himself can't enter a house unless he's invited?
The devil, I'll remind him.
Oh, the devil!
look around.
Yeah. You definitely see some eyes on you now, especially Danica. She's like, she looks around too.
He said
gets in
Bob. He said Bob.
a little bit closer, says, I mean, if it holds true for his minions, I suppose it would hold true for him. He's never entered my own home to get me.
Wow, that's really good to know.
He's good.
So at this time, the other bard stands up, and he pulls one of the nearby chairs over and kind of shuffles his way into your table and says, "So I heard you guys talking about the devil. Is that what you're here for?"
Ulrich stops eating.
Why do you ask, my friend?
Don't go down that path. You're
What do you
better
mean?
off here, being a slave to the Burgermeister and playing week after week after week after week for his fucking festivals than going against the devil himself.
Is this from personal knowledge?
Bet your damn ass it is. Don't do it. I lost many of friends to him. And it's only through the safety that the Burgermaster creates here that I'm able to still survive.
Do you mean that you were brought to Barovia also?
Do I look like I'm from this fucking place? No, I'm not. But yet here I am. I've been here. I've lost count for how many years. I'll die here.
And because Shogi just talked in chat,
Shogi!
and he
Hi,
says
Get
that
in here.
Ulrich needs to make sure to wipe away the crumbs from Irina's mouth and give her a wink.
Oh.
But at this time, I think Galen would stand up and like come up to this guy's shoulder and say, "Laddie, you need to keep your faith. It's never so bad that you can't pick yourself back up again."
And he kind of stands still for a moment and just kind of cranes his neck to look up, I guess not too far,
Yeah.
at Shogi. And says, "You don't know what I've fucking been through. You don't know what I've seen. You don't know what I've seen that monster do. I see it every time I close my eyes to sleep. I see my friends. I hear their death cries. I'm just trying to help. And I'm telling you, don't bother." He takes a moment and looks really hard at Irina before he gets up and walks out of the inn, or begins to walk out. So if there's anything you guys want to do while he's doing that, by all means do it. Also, hi Shogi, I miss you.
Evander actually would like to kind of follow him, stand up, and just kind of, tug at his shirt and say, sometimes we don't have choices about the path laid before us, but if you can tell us anything about what you experienced, any help is needed.
Give me, I'm going to say, a history check here with advantage.
Okay.
Evander only. Well, I want to say Evander can do it with advantage. Everyone but Victor can do it without advantage.
Okay.
I'll do
History.
disadvantage since I'm exhausted.
Yes. Okay. Wow. I should roll for Galen, right?
Yeah.
History, Galen. Are you good at it?
I don't know if he's any good at that.
I mean, it's not bad. It's not okay. No, that roll was not great. But so luckily, Evander, you had advantage. But it doesn't quite strike you until you're kind of right face to face talking about Strahd himself. And Tasso, it doesn't hit you until you kind of see him. I don't know, he has this certain aura and look about him of anger and angst and sorrow. And then you both recognize where you've seen this man before.
Oh, man.
And it hits Evander even deeper because you felt the anger, the angst, that fear, and that sorrow. Because at one point, you felt it with him.
I
You
was in his
joined that
head.
consciousness with him. And you realize right away that this was that bardic character
Was his name Oleg? Is that the right
I
name?
Oleg.
believe. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Evander is kind of dumbfounded when he finally recognizes.
Of course, this guy has no idea about
Sure.
that. You can gauge that pretty easily, but you both kind of recognize the face and kind of like a flash instant, like it almost feels like a dream. Like that's where you've seen him, but I would say at least it feels very dreamlike for Tasso, but for Evander because it was very internalized.
Yeah.
You know for certain that this was the guy that went through Castle Ravenloft and
To his memories, he thought he almost basically
Yeah.
died to Strahd.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
yeah.
Evander
So
wants to
you're now out there with him. You followed him out.
yeah. Evander wants to kind of like grip his shoulder and say, "You may not believe this, but I think I might understand what you went through. And like I said, we don't all have choices with what path we must take. And I won't ask you to relive anything, but I could use your help if you could give me any sort of direction or foreknowledge of what I might face."
He takes a moment, takes a deep breath, and says, "You're headed down a dark path. A path I had to step away from. And I won't go back down it again. I assume you talked to the old fortune teller."
Yes, Lady
Madam Eva.
Madam Eva, thank you. Yes, Madam Eva is an interesting person.
Well, we found a couple of the items she told us to. And it helped. But we were foolhardy. Thought we were ready. Time was running out. We followed a man that we thought could defeat the devil, that monster. We watched him perish. Still, we pushed on. The town was behind us, we thought. There was an energy. We were all dying for change. We thought the time was now. We were so close,
What
but not
what
close
did you
enough.
what did you lack?
I will tell you, he's not like any of his little flunkies that you've met before already. He's nothing like them. He's far more powerful. Don't think of him as just a vampire. He's so much more than that. We didn't take the proper means to protect ourselves and to ensure that he wouldn't come back. We thought he was dead. And he kind of holds his hand out in front of him and says, "I put the stake in his heart myself. It wasn't enough. And I'm too old now to try again."
What could possibly be enough if that didn't stop him?
Have they not reached out to you yet?
I mean, there's these strange women from a swamp who keep...
No. You'll know it when they do. they hold the secret. But that is an even more dangerous path. But now, in hindsight, I see that as the path of finally ending it. See, he was dead. He was dead, finally. But then he came back. And I wish we listened to the old folk. They told us he always comes back. But the whispers from, I still hear them in my dream. They whisper of a way to stop that. But I won't lie, that also makes me very uncomfortable.
I understand. Thank you, my friend. This has been hard for you, and I appreciate any help you can give, Oleg.
Have you been in Vallaki long?
Oh, we just arrived today, my friend.
And his body kind of goes rigid for a moment. Well, don't seek me out again. And he turns around and leaves.
Evander gives to his back his most flourishing, respectful bow and says kind of quietly under his breath, "You have my promise, friend, to do what you could not finish." And he'll turn to join his group to relay this. And the one thing he wants to kind of very much kind of dwell on is he wants to say, he told me that they hold the secret. He wants to kind of latch onto that phrase.
Okay. Also, I completely forgot that Vasily was with you guys, because I didn't move you guys all over in one lump group like I normally do. So Vasily definitely would have came with you to the Blue Water Inn. Danica would have made sure that he got kind of cleaned up and helped, a little bit of first aid here and there, and a nice mug of ale and a big bowl and of hearty stew and a nice chunk of bread. So he's just kind of been resting in this back corner a little bit, just kind of working on feeling better for the most part. But yes, Evander comes back and he tells you all of that stuff.
And I'll also make sure that Tasso, Galen, and Ulrich understand the name Oleg. I'm not going to say anything that talks about being in their heads with other people can hear us, but I kind of want to be very pointed about that name so that they understand who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And Ulrich will say, "Do you mean them?"
And he'll hold up his hand and create a minor illusion to create the party that they inhabited in the alternate timeline.
Evander will say, that is who I believe he is. I don't think they're the ones who hold the secret.
And in that minor illusion, you definitely see, obviously, all of your counterparts, but a much younger Oleg in there as well.
Ulrich stopped eating.
Irina's confused, but she feels a shift in energy and emotion within the group, and she says, "Who were those people? Who did you know him? That man, Evander?"
Evander kind of scratches his head and says, "You know Barovia better than I do, but from what we've heard, there have been people who have fought the devil before. Is that right?"
Yes, many.
Don't ask me how I know this, but he was a part of a group who made that fight one time before.
How long?
Emner kind of looks around at the group and shrugs.
I did ask Madame Eva that at the Sears pool. I think she just said it was a long time ago. But he's kind of looking around his shoulder. Should we be talking about this down here? I don't know. What if Strahd has spies somewhere?
Shh, don't
You
say
hear
his
another
name.
I mean,
person.
the devil.
You hear another person drop their glass, and Danica comes over to you, puts her mouth over your hand, and it's actually quite tight and strong, and says, "If you say that name one more time, I will kick you out." She releases you.
I think maybe it's time to call it a night. If you would like to retire to your rooms to talk a little bit more.
And Danica
Yeah.
says, "You can talk." And she looks poignantly at you, Victor. "But be careful."
And he'll nod.
And she walks away.
Yeah, so I guess that means people can hear us if we're talking.
Well, you are in a crowded tavern.
Yes.
Well, he was trying to lean in, but yeah.
So you guys retire to your rooms.
Yeah, let's retire.
Yes.
I feel like maybe we should meet in, like, kind of as a group, go to one room to talk a little bit before we rest, I would say.
Okay. So, even though we didn't talk about it, Erwin, I will say, would have told Victor that he's giving some space up for the party members that you've brought in, that you trust. And how many technically are there now?
How many of
5?
us?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
counting the
Ga-
kids too?
Yeah,
Oh,
Galen,
That's
the 4 of
true.
us, the kids.
Yeah, y'all haven't done anything with the children just yet.
Maybe just drop him off at an orphanage or something.
There
Well, they
is an
could-
orphanage in Vallaki. That's one of the things that Irina had mentioned to you guys.
I would say probably Irina could keep them with her for the night, since you know,
Okay.
she's been kind of shepherding them, maybe.
All right, so she's gonna keep them in. I don't know if you guys can see. Then, well, she's gonna keep them in this room
The larger
here.
room, yeah.
Yeah, the larger room. She'll probably end up sleeping on the floor, but that's fine. The other rooms at the far end here are the only other ones that are open for use. There's not enough beds for everyone. You guys can bunk up if you want, or some of y'all will have to sleep on the floor.
I can
I think
sleep on the
Galen
floor.
is used to sleeping on a chair too, so Galen can do
That's
that.
also true.
That's
Yeah.
what
I'm used to sleeping in a tree, so a floor's fine.
Okay. So
Ulrich
y'all can
really needs a bed.
so you can definitely work out the sleeping arrangements however you wish. But those will be your rooms that you can spend your time in. Yeah, what do you guys like to do next?
I would say probably get the kids settled in that room and then maybe meet in one of these other rooms to talk
Okay.
about what we
I'm
learned.
going to say Irina and the kids are going to, she's got her hands full with them, and she's going to just deal with them for most of the night, especially since she's getting the sense that a lot of the stuff that's happening it's kind of personal between y'all. So she's going to give you guys some space there. But she does make a note to let you guys know that the door is going to be unlocked. Just in case.
Victor, when you guys get in the room, Victor would stand by the door and say, "My mission was to bring you all to Erwin Mardikov. I've completed that, but sorry." Go ahead.
Just one thing. Before, if Vasily starts to see you guys depart, going upstairs and leaving, he's going to at least kind of stop you guys and and just say thank you, thank you guys so much. This was a very difficult night for me. Um, I don't know the best way to extend my gratitude, but I do have a home in town. It is on Mulberry Street.
It's a good street. It's a good street name.
Uh-huh.
Good street.
It is.
Yeah.
That's my street.
Um, it's 425 Mulberry. If there's anything you need,
Ooh.
I would love to at least host you guys for dinner. It's the least I can do. And don't worry, I will pay for all of your room and board here. Please just tell him to put it on my tab.
It's very gracious of you, Vasily. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
thank you.
you're thank you. And he departs.
Wow, that's good.
We
Yeah,
may need an ally in town.
He's a man of means. That's a good ally to make. I guess his misfortune is our fortune.
And after talking to Oleg, I think if we are actually going to go through with fighting the devil, we're going to need every ally we can get, and maybe he can even help guide us to some of the things we may need if we're going to fight him.
We just won't.
I
Won't
forgot
rely on his
because
hunting skills.
yeah. Since Galen isn't here, as a paladin, I forgot, and he does tend to do this often. I feel like you tell me, Ryan.
Mhm.
I feel like Galen would have, because he does seem to be a bit untrustworthy. I feel like he probably would have cast, what is it, detect
Oh
good and
yeah,
evil? Is that what
Fiend,
paladins
he
get?
always detects for fiends or something
Or
like
divine
that.
sense?
Fine.
Divine sense, yeah.
Yeah. So he probably definitely would have done that when you guys first, maybe not while you guys were fighting, because obviously the vampires are
Yeah.
no good. But I feel like he probably would have let us know to do that. So celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet. Does he have anything else? I thought there was something else that they could do, but I guess not.
Yeah, that's the one he
So
uses the most, I think.
yeah, I feel like he still would have. He would have just done it because when there's a new person, we don't know. So he wasn't able to pick up on any celestial fiend or undead when it was like just Vasily,
Vasily,
or
okay.
or even Victor. So none of them are undead, celestial, or fiends.
Yeah, he actually did have that going when Victor first came to us, so I think
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
yeah.
because the hags and everything like
Yeah,
that. I
mhm.
think. Yeah. So, um, I keep trying. I honestly keep forgetting about Galen. So I'm sorry, but I feel like that's something he probably would have done. But yeah. Okay, so that's it.
Okay.
So you guys are in the room. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go on.
I think Victor would start and say, "My mission was to bring you to Erwin Martikov, and I finished that. But he's released me. If you'll have me to continue to assist you going forward, it's my passion to end the curse of the devil, so that my children don't have to live like this. It'd be my honor to join you if you would have me."
I think we would be foolish to turn away anybody who volunteers something that nobody else would want to take part in at this point.
Great. Well, I have to go break the news to my wife. It sounds like you all have some other things to discuss, so I'm gonna travel home. And I guess Victor will leave to go home.
Okay. Don't
To
forget
see.
that tricycle.
Oh yeah, he grabs the tricycle and he leaves for his house. I'll meet you here in the morning. And Goes
I'll
home to
head out.
break the news to his wife that he's leaving to help this group
It's gonna
fight.
be a rough night for Victor. I'm telling you guys.
Yeah, it might be a little late in the morning.
Too
But,
bad our
Yeah.
fearless leader isn't here to give you a pep talk for that night.
His
Speaking
pep
of
talk would be like, get over it.
Yeah.
Do what you want. I'm not your leader.
Right.
That's right. I'm not your leader.
Speaking of that, when Victor leaves, Ulrich says, "Well, okay, we have another ally in Victor, but what about Connard?"
Well, didn't Victor say he knew something about these hags? Maybe him and this, this Mardukov can help us find him.
I thought the last thing that happened is that the hags were gonna try and have a talk with Connard and come to a deal, and we would just have to wait and find out what it is.
Maybe
have
we
that right?
can, maybe we can reach out to them somehow if somebody in this area knows about them. I don't know.
Guess there's nothing more we can do right now for him.
Unless you know a spell that can let us communicate with him, which I sure don't. I don't know of anything we could do to help Connard.
The only thing I could think of to do is try and speak in Abyssal to the hags if they happen to be listening to us.
Do you think they're listening all the time or something?
I don't know what they can do. They
What
found
about-
us in the woods.
What about those cards? Can those cards... Do we know anything about what they're connected to?
Does Ulrich have an idea of what these really are?
Not
Okay.
yet. No.
Ulrich will say, looking at Galen, I don't think we should do anything with those cards. They can have really unexpected results. I don't fully understand them.
Yeah, you're probably right. What about... Do we have any help from Madame Ava? She gave us so many, vague hints. Did she say anything that might help us with finding Connard or dealing with hags?
I don't think so. She just told us to find certain items and people on the way to confronting Strahd and the devil. Is anyone? I guess no one's in here. But
Evander kind of punches his arm. Come on, man.
Ow.
Come on.
He looks at the door. Okay, speaking of that, aren't we supposed to meet him for dinner in a few more nights?
Well, yes, but we have at least a few more nights. So I'm surely there's some more things we can do to plan. Oleg, I feel like he gave us some really, really good, almost like Madame Ava, some direction about what we need to do before we actually finally meet the devil.
But do what? Just wait for they to talk to us, whoever that is?
Well, that's going to happen anyway. I think we need to find whatever it is that Madame Ava was hinting at, because she told us about things we should look for, right? You're the one who
Yep.
knows all that mumbo jumbo stuff, Ulrich.
She did. She said that we should look to the Wizard of Wines and we should find a powerful symbol of hope and protection. And he just keeps rattling off and talking and going on and on and on.
Evander's like nodding along. Yes, we should do all of that. Like he doesn't really understand really what any of it is, but he agrees with it. Galen, do you know what any of these symbols or anything those things could be?
He takes a swig of his flask that somehow he refilled.
He filled it, yeah.
And he says, "Of course I know. I've already found it, but I'm gonna wait for you guys to catch up, and then I'll let you get it." He drinks again.
Okay. Well, the closest.
I was like, you're getting a very strong sense that Galen is not.
In his right mind.
Yeah, Galen's not Galen.
Ulrich's gonna look at the rest of the group to see if they're reacting to Galen.
Evander's like, he gets this way when he drinks too much. Like, this is Galen when he's at a bar, basically.
I don't think it's the drink. I think it was the card.
Do you say that loud enough for us all to hear
Yeah.
that?
Yes,
Okay.
including
Card
Galen.
schmard. I can't help that, you're just so boring and weak, Ulrich. And I am the strongest and best here, okay? Takes another swig.
What was
Evander
this
does kind of
card
look at Ulrich
that
as
you're
like,
speaking of?
okay, he doesn't usually talk like that.
What did you say, Jeremiah?
What is this card that you're speaking of?
Oh, were you not in your own body when that happened?
I
Nope.
must not have been.
Oh God.
He also wasn't technically there for that entire session either, so he really
Oh
doesn't know.
jeez. Ulrich will fill him in real quick and tell him about the card, and he'll just show him the box and the deck, and say,
Yeah.
I don't know where these cards came from or why we found them, but Galen pulled one and now he's being really weird.
Yeah, so I'll at least pull it out so you can visually see it. So he pulls out, Ulrich pulls out a very small decorative, like kind of like a tarot box. It's ornate with red and red enamel and gold and all this other stuff. But as he kind of opens up the top, you see a deck of cards. You can just see the backs of them, and this is the symbol that you can barely make it out. Do I have a handout of it? I do. But on the back of that card is the crest of Ravenloft. This is what you see.
Okay. Where's the card that he pulled?
Gone. As
Oh, it
soon
just
as he
disappeared.
as soon as he pulled it, it kind of like disintegrated. So it's no longer there.
And nobody saw it but Galen.
Some of them saw it. I would say I think
Victor.
Victor was the closest one who would have seen what the actual card he pulled was.
What's the Victoria doll?
Yeah, that was the doll Victor. But yeah, that was the only person that, I mean, obviously Galen was of sound mind before he pulled the card. He pulled a card that no one else really saw before it disintegrated. And now he's being a little weird.
Yeah, I think was Ulrich the one that kind of closed it and said, "Yo, don't do that" or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So I don't know what to do with these, but we should just keep him safe and not tell anyone about him.
You don't think anybody can help us? Because I mean, if Galen's not in his right mind, and Evander's kind of convinced after his last couple of statements,
The mind laddie.
Maybe Irina or Victor know someone here in Vallaki who could help with some kind of curse or enchantment.
wasn't there somebody that Madame Ava told us about in Vallaki?
I think Irina knows a cleric here. A father.
We're supposed to bring Irina to meet somebody here. Wasn't that the whole point? Why we left in the first place?
Yeah.
Yep. There's a rather large church here in Vallaki, which is known to be what's the word? Not it's gosh. I know someone in chat has already like remembered. I'm thinking like it's like a sanctuary. It's technically like holy ground.
Okay. Well, then that sounds like a great idea.
Consecrated?
Yes.
Well, I think that we start there in the morning.
Yeah, we should get some rest. I really don't feel good. And then we need to fix Galen.
Looks over
And
at
this,
Galen.
well, and this place that we're going with Irina, they may know of healers or something that they can do to help him as well.
Yeah. Hopefully.
It's a great plan. Evander's like in a great mood after getting to perform a little bit and having some delicious tart. So he's like slapping him on the shoulder. You guys have direction. I like that.
Okay.
All right,
So
well, I'm gonna get
y'all-
my bedroll and curl up on the ground.
Okay.
Evander will take a
So-
bed.
Who's in
Or-
which room?
I guess since
Since
Evander
Victor
and-
left.
Evander and Ulrich are always, or Evander and
And Galen, yeah.
Galen are always hanging out together. They'll probably be in one room.
Yeah, I guess me and Galen can go to this other room over here,
Yeah.
and I'll try
Okay.
to tuck Galen into the bed, like a sick patient, you know.
Okay.
Good luck.
All right. He's not
Uh,
going to fight too hard, but he's going to go on about a story where he bested the quote unquote like he defeated a Tarask all on his own.
Well, he killed all the vampires earlier that we
Yeah,
were fighting by
he
himself.
he did it all by himself. So yeah, he'll go on and on about nonsense basically. Which is absolute nonsense. But
But I
yeah,
nod along.
so
And talk. You're great, Galen. Everything you do is amazing.
I know.
Question about wounds. Do we automatically get wounds from going to 0 HP?
I know you get them if you are hit with a critical.
Okay.
I don't think you get them from going to 0.
Okay. I was a little confused about the variant simple wounds. But okay, but a healing spell can cure a wound, it says, correct?
Yes, so it can cure a wound, but the wound still needs time. Like it can treat a wound. I think we got to use the proper verbiage.
Okay.
So it can treat the wound, but it's only going to heal either with the proper magic or a long rest. In which case, here a long
Right.
rest is 24 hours.
Okay.
But
Or with-
you only have one wound, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So like let's say if Evander cast a healing spell, would Ulrich's wound go away?
If you make that DC 15 con save.
Oh, I still have to.
Yeah. Well, hold on, let me read.
I don't have any more spells I can do, but I did
guess
cast spells earlier on you, I guess.
It's either or. You can take the hit point bonus of it, or you can heal that wound.
Is the magic a guaranteed way to heal the wound, or is there still a roll with that one?
No, if you
okay.
want to take the magic to heal the wound, like if we're let's say in the middle of the battle, you get critically hit, and Evander comes to heal you. You can opt to heal that wound that was just created from that critical hit, or you can opt to take those hit points.
Okay.
But you can't do both. Or you can wait until, at the end of the long rest, you can see if your wounds heal after that with your check.
Okay. Yes, he definitely wants to get rid of the wound, so whichever way will be quicker
Well,
and easier.
we
to
have that
magic and
healer's kit, so Evander would
Yeah.
definitely be up for helping.
But it has to be a magical healing, but we do have a paladin. So he's going to just push you aside, Evander, and say, you know what? I'm the best at this. I can do it better than you anyway. So hold on. And he just he grabs you, Evander, and just kind of like shakes you and does his lay on hands on you.
On Ulrich.
Oh, on me.
On Ulrich, yeah. And so he will magically heal you that way.
Okay. So my wound is removed.
Yes.
I have no more slashes across my torso.
For now, it could be reopened in the future, but it is at least currently healed.
Okay, but if it's a long rest, it can go away like permanently forever.
Unfortunately,
Maybe.
that's not the way I'm reading it.
Okay, it's just always. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
then. Okay.
But we'll see. We'll think about that. We can discuss that more during our little break. But for now, you don't have a wound. It has been magically healed.
Okay, but still there. Got that noted. Okay. Okay, thanks, Galen. My neck hurts. I'm really tired now.
I give the best massages too.
Galen, you need to sleep too. Ulrich, you need to sleep. Evander's trying to like shepherd them to their beds so they stop.
All right. Okay, so you make your way back to your beds. I assume Tasso is not sleeping in the bed.
Nope.
Okay. So a few hours pass. Pretty loud down below in the beginning, but it begins to die down. Evander, while you're sleeping though, you kind of feel this tug, like someone pulling on your hair.
Kind of turn over. What?
You see the ghost of Rose, like right next to your face.
Kind of, Rose, what?
Funny
Still kind
man.
of sleep-addled.
Funny man. And she kind of like taps like your little cheek. Funny man, I saw your friend. The mean dwarf.
What, Connard? You saw Connard?
I saw him.
What?
He's not safe.
Where did you see him?
She instinctively kind of looks back away. There's nothing behind her though. She says, I saw him in the mean hag's hut. The old woman. She's nasty looking. He's in a cage. I'm scared for him. He sent me here.
Connard sent you here. Is there a way you can lead us to him or help us find him?
Not unless you're a ghost too.
A ghost? Do you mean we have to die?
I'm dead. I can see him. I can see her.
Okay,
And I'm scared for him.
if somebody can become a ghost, you can lead them to him though, you say?
I know the way.
Okay. Okay, Rose. How can I contact you if we can become a ghost?
She kind of looks over to your backpack. And if you
Oh,
remember,
okay. I
there
have
used
her
to be a doll. Yeah.
I think I gave that. I kind of gave it away.
You gave it
didn't I?
away, but oddly enough, there it is again.
Oh. Okay. Evander kind of smiles and chuckles and says, "Okay, Rose. Thank you. We will get Connard out, and we will have your help to find him."
She just kind of disappears.
Because Evander knows Galen's not quite in his right mind, he wants to actually kind of very quietly go to the next room to Ulrich and just kind of tap him awake.
Mm-hmm.
Ulrich, wake up.
Yeah. Hi, what is it?
Okay, you said we need to find Connard, right?
Yeah.
You may not believe this, but Rose just appeared to me, and she said she knows where he is, but we have to be a ghost to get to him. Do you know of any way that we can, I don't know, become a ghost to find Connard?
Yeah, and before Orc says anything, just remind me, Niem. So last session, it was clear to the party that the ethereal oil was what was being used to keep Connor. Okay, so then
It's,
Orc.
wait, continue that sentence.
So I remember that it was clear to the party that when Ulrich looked at everything, that the ethereal oil is what was the means that the hag was keeping Ulrich trapped, so that he was being held
No.
in the ethereal realm. No?
It's a little mix.
Okay.
So Connard is most definitely within the like the very close, the near ethereal plane.
Okay.
And that is a realm that's much traveled by ghosts and night hags. So you kind of piece that together. I think it was through like certain dreams you were able to kind of discern that that's probably where she took him when Connard napped and the hag kind of like disappeared. It was in kind of like this misty gossamer type of form, and she kind of just melded into the ethereal plane behind her. So you're very certain that's where he is.
Okay.
Getting to the ethereal plane, though, isn't always so easy.
Okay, so Ulrich will tell him like,
Well, yeah, that makes sense. He's on the ethereal plane, but we have to find a way to get there.
Well, if we can figure something out, we have a guide, so at least this gives us some hope that maybe we can find him.
Make a history check for me, both of you.
Okay.
and because we saw the ethereal oil in the mill, but I can't remember like what they concluded from that.
Oh wow, goodness, my rolls tonight.
Oh shoot, I
really
need to-
good.
So that's good. I'm disadvantaged. Okay, never mind.
It's really late.
So, Evander, oddly enough, you're the one that kind of pieces it together. Ethereal realm, oil of ethereal. That was the only little bottle that was missing from that cabinet, from the hag's office. But there was still, like, at least one barrel of it left in the basement of the mill.
Yeah, I think Ulrich was trying to convince us to take some of it while we were down there or something. And Evander's
But
like,
you
I
guys-
can try.
yeah.
But we
Yeah,
didn't.
you all were too little worried about traversing the goop to try to do it. So you guys
Yep.
don't have any on you at the moment. You know
Okay.
where some is, but you are also in a larger city. You might be able to procure some here.
Okay.
So
All right.
something to ponder and think about.
All right. Well, Evander will say, I don't know, Ulrich, you know about all this weird realm, abyssal, ethereal stuff, but if this oil can somehow do what Rose is asking and either turn us into a ghost or lead us to the ethereal realm, that might be our key to get Connard back.
Okay, I'll think about it.
And Evander's like going to try to give him the big bro speech of, you're the smartest one among us here. You know all about this weird magic stuff. If anybody can figure anything out about this, it's you, my friend.
Okay.
I believe
All right,
in you, sir.
Thanks, Evander.
Kind of pats him and then heads back to bed.
All right. So you leave the room. Tasso still sound asleep for this. Probably snoring a little bit, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. A loud bit.
And as Ulrich is trying to push the snores of Tasso out of his mind and stop thinking about some of the things that have been happening today, you hear a voice within your mind. Ulrich, my boy, how are we doing today? And you recognize that voice as Strahd von Zarevich's voice.
Stinks into the covers a little bit more.
I feel like we have much to discuss. I think you should come outside. And you hear just the tiniest little tap at your window.
Oh my god, it's like Salem's Lot. Look at Tasso. Is he reacting?
He's asleep.
Okay, Ulrich will gingerly get out of bed and walk to the window and just peer through the curtains.
As you kind of pull it aside, little bit, you see Strahd there, floating. You're one story up. He's floating there. He just gives you a little smile and beckons you.
He almost screams, but stops himself. Oh, wait, are we on the second story?
Yes. You're up top.
Really quick, I'm just gonna look at the top of this window. Does it have that engraving on it?
It does.
But it's not like magic in and of itself. It's just like a best practice.
As far as you know,
Okay.
there's nothing magical about the engraving.
Oh God. Can I talk to Strahd and he'll hear me?
You can try.
Okay, so just really quietly whispering, Orc will say,
How am I gonna go outside if it's on the second story?
He motions to the side of him and says, "There are stairs, Ulrich. Right over there."
like, you need somebody to go down from inside the building.
Yeah. So if you're
Oh,
looking at the map, there's literally like
yeah.
a door here. So
I thought.
I picture Ulrich like looking out of his little door around, like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
I thought he was looking out the window and Strahd's like floating there, and Strahd's like,
He
"Well,
is
come on
floating there.
out." And I was like, "What? Oh, okay."
Oh, and then a little embrace as you guys float down to the ground.
Ugh. Ugh.
Midnight
Not yet.
rendezvous.
Not yet.
Oh God. Okay. Ulrich's gonna, I guess, put on his cloak and quietly walk to the door and look out, see if anyone's in the hallway.
No one's there.
Okay, he's gonna quietly close the door and head outside.
Okay.
Uh,
At that point, Strahd would meet you. And of course, he's looking as fabulous as ever,
Of
right?
course.
Of course. He's had all day to prepare for this very moment.
Oh God.
It's exactly what he spends his time doing. He's got to make grand entrances. So he kind of, you see him like float down from that second floor down to the ground level. Of course, his cape is flourishing behind him, and it's dramatic and sexy in every possible way. But he then walks over to you. Ulrich,
Take a step back.
I regret that we haven't spoken as often as I wish. Tell me, how are things?
Well, kind of difficult, I guess.
You don't look well, Ulrich. And he kind of looks you over.
Well, I kind of got hurt, but I'm feeling better now, though. Kind of, I'm okay. Well, Connard's missing. Some hags took him.
The hags. Yes.
You know about him?
I do. They've been, what's the phrase? I've heard, a thorn in my side.
So I should tell you, but I don't know if this is too much to ask, but can you make a promise?
Depends.
Well, the hags took Connard, and they want to use him as a bargaining chip to make us help them hurt your hag allies, the Swamp Witches.
First. Okay. He kind of quirks a little eyebrow and says, "This is intriguing."
I just wanted to be honest with you because you said that you wanted me to tell you things.
Absolutely, and I very much appreciate this. So you tell me that these hags stole one of your own, huh?
And we'd like to get him back, so if there's some way that, I don't know, you could help us maybe trick them so we could get him back?
These are the same hags that you say are conspiring against me. And
Yeah.
his voice takes on a very hard edge.
Yeah, you know Granny with the mill and the pies?
Yes.
She's like,
This
like a
is this is very interesting. I grant her the grace to stay in my land, and this is how she decides to repay me.
but if you could please not, say anything to them before we get Conrad back, because we don't want him to get hurt or anything.
He breathes in deep for a moment, listening to what you're saying. You know, Conrad or Ulrich, I may have a way to help you.
Okay.
And wow, is it really not in here? Hold on. As he's talking to you, first of all, make me a perception check.
Is my exhaustion gone now? I guess
I don't believe so.
not yet. Okay.
Mm-mm. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So as he's talking to you, you can just kind of see something moving behind him, something large. And he kind of snaps his finger, and the beast becomes visible, and this kind of the same kind of gossamer, ghostly image that the hag once disappeared into. And before you stands this large, basically horse, but the mane is full of fire. It's a dark black horse, eyes of fire, and the hooves are on fire. And he looks and he says, "You want the hags and your friend Conrad? I got a ride for you."
Oh.
And I think that is where we will leave it.
Dangling the keys of the new Porsche right in front of Ulrich's face.
Deal with the devil.
I did not ask for this.
Well, Connor didn't
Didn't
ask to
she,
be
though?
Connor didn't ask to be the leader, so.
Yeah, true.
Oh gosh, I have a question for Strahd too, but
Oh, it's gonna have to wait. Oh, that was
my god.
That was a really fun session, Doreen. I really enjoyed that.
That was
Good.
a great way to leave it too.
Yeah. So now you guys have different options and roads. So we'll walk down whatever path you choose whenever we start back up again.
All
I
right.
sense that Vallaki's become a quest hub.
Oh, it's a huge quest hub. It's a
Yeah.
huge quest hub.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I gotta say again, thank you so much to everybody in chat for hanging out. Thank you for Archon, Doreen, Jeremiah, and Chris. Y'all are doing an amazing job, and this is such a good time. Hopefully, even if it's going to be months or possibly longer before we do this, we'll still have the group together to play some other stuff.
Yeah.
After the holidays.
Yep.
So, but anyway, you all on Twitch land, I hope you all enjoy. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving and Christmas, since you won't be seeing all of us here. But a huge, amazing, awesome thank you to Doreen for leading this game. You were doing an amazing job.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Until next time, my friends, you all have a great rest of your night. Peace out. Happy gaming. And we will see you all next time. Later, all.